Hello again guys, I'm gonna give you another tutorial on how to use Autodesk Sketchbook. This time I wanted to focus on trying to create a drawing that is presentation ready. I don't know how this is going to go, so bear with me. I thought I'd look at doing maybe a kettle design that's got a couple of component parts that we can attach separately. Um, so the way I'm going to do this is I think I'm going to do the main sort of trunk or the body or the cylinder or whatever shape it's going to be of the kettle, and then attach the spout and the handle separately, and the lid if it's got one or whatever we're going to do, and maybe some buttons or controls or whatever we're going to put on there later. Okay, so as we start again, just going to ensure that my angle is set to 0 on my page. I'm going to go to my pack again, and I'm going to make sure that my pen is set to around my preference, which is about 1.8, and I'm just going to start drawing the shape that I want my kettle to be. So I'm going to put a baseline in first along the bottom, and then I'm going to switch to my predictive stroke, set to 5. I think I'm going to make mine kind of top heavy. I don't want a straight line, I don't think. I'm slightly... No, do you know what? I'm going to leave it straight, I think. I'm just going to come in a little bit. This line. And I'm going to curve the other one out slightly. And do this until you're happy with the curve. Alright, that's good. And I'm going to bring this back, the top. Something like that. Well, I'm looking for like an architectural design now. Sort of quite robust, kind of industrial sort of looking, but modern. So I've gone to my rubber now, and I'm going in, I'm just going to clean those lines up, the edges. I've got a lot to do here because I've extended my lines quite far. So I'm just going to go back in with my larger rubber or eraser tool and scrub those out. Bear with me. Just making sure that my corners are nice and crisp. Just taking a little bit off the corner. Just to soften it a little bit. You don't want it looking too harsh. Okay, there we are. Just a couple more to go. So accuracy with this application really does save you time. But I find this kind of relaxing and escapist. Right. So that corner there is going to be really sharp, so I don't really want it that sharp. So I'm going to just take that back quite a bit. Alright, great. So now I've got my sort of trunk of the kettle, if you want to call it that, or the sort of container part where the liquid goes in. If you wanted to make this two-dimensional from the side view, which is the perspective I'm using, I'll show you how to do that quickly, and then I'll sort of kind of edit it so you can kind of make it more 3D, I think, possibly. So here we go. All right, so now I want to add the spout. So I'm going to put a new layer in. I'm going to use my line tool again. I'm just going to put it maybe just... I've got my rubber on again there. Just so it overlaps the front of this. And I'm going to try and follow the curve, go back to my predictive stroke, kind of follow the curve of the top, so it sort of follows it down. I'm not achieving this curve, so I'm just going to bring it level down a little bit. There we go. I'm getting a curve now, but it's not quite right. That'll be alright, I think. Yeah, that'll be alright. In fact, I may work against it. See how that turns out. Alright, I'm going to go back to my line tool. Bring it to about there, I think. Alright, let's go with that. That's alright for now. I'm gonna move this out of the way, just so I can start rubbing the parts out that I don't need. Let's get to the top. Soften it up a bit. Alright, fine. So I'm just going to leave that sort of hanging there a minute. That's fine. So I think with the handle, I'm gonna want it to be fighting this angle here. So I think I want it to come back a little bit, my pen. Kind of like that. So if I just rotate that slightly, I think that's kind of where I want my handle to be working at. Put another line in now, coming back this way. Don't need it that big. Save my rubbing out for later. I'm just going to kind of follow that line. Better put my predictive stroke back up, I think. Yeah, that's not bad. I can live with that. Okay, so let's turn that off. I need my rubber again. I need to get busy again. I'm going to move everything out of the way just so I know which lines I'm trying to. Oh, I didn't want to shrink that. Just undo. Press done and then you can shrink it back. Right. Okay. So my rubber tool again, my eraser. Okay. Fine. Probably taking a bit too much off that, but that's fine. I'm just going to leave it. As long as this hole, there's no gaps, should be fine. Yeah, a bit to do up here. There we go. Right, so I've got my three kind of shapes, and I can move these around so till I'm happy where I want them to kind of be. I know they're overlapping at the moment. I'll show you why that's not a problem. So I'm going to try and play with this a little bit until I'm happy with it, because you could have that spout just sticking out like that, or you could have it running parallel with it, which is fine. Yeah, I think I'm going to have it nearly parallel. That's okay. Right, so when I fill these in now, they're going to be separate parts, right? So that's the good thing. As long as I've got this on top, and I'll show you what I mean now. So if I fill, let's go for a nice sort of, I don't know, a red colour. I keep it quite light. Right, let's fill this in then. All right, and I'm going to go for a chrome coloured spout. And my handle a minute actually. Just going to go back. I didn't want to fill that, not to fill too long. I'm just going to cut the handle back out of it because I do need that negative space to allow you to grip the handle. So I quite like a straight line there. Yeah, nice. That's okay. And that's the beauty of this, is you can go back now. If I wanted to add 5 different handles to the same design, I could. I don't really need to clean these up, and I'll show you why in a second. But as first is last, it's crashed a little bit now. Does this sometimes when you're using the rubber or the eraser tool, it struggles to keep up. So you can do briefly is shut the program down and start it back up, which I will do. And you'll notice then that it pretty much catches up, so it's not a massive issue. Right, let's use the bigger rubber tool for that now. Clear all that out. You know, it does help to have the settings, your preferences all set up as you like them, because it just makes things quicker rather than going in, changing everything all the time. There we go. So I got a handle there. Not worried too much about the functionality of this kettle, to be honest, as you can probably tell. So let's move this into a position where it is just about where I want it. Just overlapped is fine. Right, now when I move this last layer here to the front, it'll just go in front of everything anyway, so everything now hides behind, which is fine. Right, so what colour? I think I will go for something dark, actually, for the handle. So I'm going to go for a grey colour, but it's going to be darker than the spout. Right, so I'm happy with that a second. I'm just going to go back to this one. I'm going to pop a lid on it. Some shape. Maybe we should have a pen selected and then it's black. Okay. Maybe coming back this way. Yeah. Why it did that, I don't know. Yeah, the predictive stroke sometimes is either really good or not great at all. There we are, that's okay. Because we're on separate layers now, you can see that my eraser tool is just erasing what's on that layer, right? And that's, oh, don't seem to remember doing that, but there we are. Like I said, it can be quite glitchy, this eraser tool, so just be careful. Alright, so that's fine for me. So there's the handle, sort of, the lid. We can worry about everything else later. Right, so let's start sort of adding some textures to this now, and some gradients. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to use my spray paint tool for this. I'm going to focus on the red. I think it was about here, so I'm just going to put some darker red in. So this pillar box colour. Now remember now, if I don't lock it, it'll just spray everywhere. If I do lock it, there we go. So if I do pop the lock on, because it's quite a big picture now, I need my spray paint to be slightly wider. I'm just going to traverse up and down, that, and I'm just lightening it towards the end. So I'm just going to come up a little bit in tone towards the end, come back a little bit, go forward a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter again. And to get this lock-in tool to work, you do need to fill the picture. You can't not fill the background in and then drop a colour on. It doesn't work. You have to fill it first. There we go, it's glitching again. Alright, I'm going to get some really light one on now for the front. I'm just going to bring that back slightly, okay? There we go, I can live with that for a minute, alright? Okay, so now I'm going to work on the spout. And now I've got my grey tones, so I'm going to start dark. I haven't locked the layer, see? So let's do that. Turn darker again, I think. Darker again. And then lighter on the outside. That's alright. Let this handle now because I've got a black sort of handle. I'm going to go really dark on the bottom part, like straight away. And I'm not going to put many highlights on that because it's kind of like a matte finish, so that'll be alright. I'm just looking at this spout now, it's creeping out of the bottom. At the top, if I look at the top, this bit here, I'll just put a new layer on and show you what I mean. This here, you can see they're not lined up, and do you know what? I think if they did line up, it would help with the sort of flow of the kettle. And I've also solved the problem at the bottom where it was just creeping out a little bit. That's much better. So you've got this lovely curve now that's going through the kettle, yeah? See this here? Which is what you want, really. Let's look at this handle here as well. Maybe if we line that up with the lid, I'm just going to try and squidge it round a bit. Maybe that'll help it. Make it smaller, put it at the bottom, put it higher at the top. You know, it's up to you, really. I think if that kind of just laps onto it, it'll help a little bit more. There we go. Okay, that's not bad. I wouldn't mind putting a little bit more dark tones right to the bottom of this kettle here. And yeah, that's alright. I'm pleased with that. If you wanted to make this 3D, you could, but you just got to remember you've got to curve the bottom edge. But for now, as a profile, from a side view, that's not a problem. I would consider possibly putting the handle in front a little bit if you are on the side view, just to show it is a separate component. Just a little bit proud to show that it wraps slightly around the cylinder. I mean, that's up to you, so it's your preference really. I quite like it hidden behind. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. Alright, so that's sort of like a presentation technique, drawing. Doesn't take that long, and you get some decent results really. If you wanted to put things like an LED on there, so you know, say you wanted to pop a light on it to show it's on. Maybe if you wanted to put the fill level on the side, so you could make a circle or as close to one as you can get. I'm going to duplicate that shape and move it up. I'll probably have to move that again. Now I'm going to draw another layer on top. I'm going to use a line tool, and I'm going to just from the edge go up. I need to move that to the edge of the bottom, to the sort of tangent of the bottom circle. That's done. I'm going to duplicate that one, move it across. They're both the same. The other side. And now I can move that up a circle across a little bit to form the top. Right, now I can go and merge all of those. Merge, merge, merge. Go in my rubber again. I just make that one unit or one shape. Lovely. Alright, you've got like a fill level then on the side. I know I've just put a standard one in. Could make it a bit more fancy. You know, you could follow the, I'll just do it in pencil. You could follow the shape of the, you know, the kettle itself, make it look a little bit nicer. In fact, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to keep this because it just shows an extra stage in my development, really. So I'm going to draw on top on a new layer, circle here, new layer, circle there, new layer and a circle here. Right, now I'm going to try on new layer again to connect these. That's okay. I didn't put it on a new layer. So let's go for a straight one. Let's go for it straight. Let's just manipulate it slightly. There we go. And now at the top, another layer. Just trying to follow that top curve again, this one here. Just to keep it in keeping with the, you know, the sort of style of the whole thing. There we go. Happy days, that's great. So let's merge those again. Merge. Merge. Alright, so that's all one component part now, so to speak. I can go back in here and just touch these up. Just expect it to crash again, because it probably will. There's a lot going on in this drawing, so just expect that to happen. So go in if I can cheat now with my just my big rubber rather than selecting back and forth. You can get away with it to a certain extent. If you make a mistake, you can always just undo it. Yeah, just like I did there. Right, here we go. So this is like the water fill level. So we'd expect this to be transparent-ish anyway. So I'm going to fill this color light white for now and see how it looks. But remember, it's not going right through the kettle, right? Unless you've got the other side, this glass as well. So you would have slight tones of red inside there because you're obviously looking at the inside of the kettle. If you see what I mean, if you had the glass window on the other side, that'd be fine because you can see straight through. But because you might have it on the one side, if you've only got it on the one side, then you're going to see red through there. So again, I'm just going to lock my layer. Is that? Yeah, that's okay. It's just good on that one. So this is the inside kettle. Yeah, it's not worked really well, that. I'm just going to leave it, I think. Because it's kind of rubbing out the distinction of the lines. So I'm just going to leave it. Let's go for the fill colour again, see if we can get a better sort of colour to fill it with. Yeah, that's okay. That's alright. Now it's up to you now, you can keep that one on if you wanted to, or you can go back to the other one. And pop that on, you know. Fill that colour in again. It's up to you, whatever you prefer. We put the LED on. Make him a nice little green LED. Move them across a bit. Lovely. Right, so I mean, I just, you know, just as a tutorial, as far as that goes. Looks very nice. If you presented me with, you a page full of these drawings, I'd be ecstatic, to be honest with you. I'm going to try and rotate it slightly, see what it looks like. Yeah, I'll go with that. Alright, cool. So, one last thing I'm going to try and do. Just put a little bit of dark on there, just a little bit of gradient on there. Yeah, that's a bit better. And I'm going to try and put a shadow behind. So I want to put it behind everything. So if I go back to my bottom layer, insert, and just move that to the bottom. So now I'm going to draw on the bottom layer. I'm going back to my spray can and make it a bit smaller. I'm just going to spray behind. What you can do is just then go back in with your rubber and just make it flat. It comes just under the bottom of it. So it looks like you've dropped the shadow straight down, which is a nice sort of old rendering technique, sort of fade underneath. I don't think there's anything more I want to do to that really. I could put some highlights on it if you really wanted to with a white pen. If you want to thicken the pen out a little bit and just sort of dam along. I'm going to draw on top now, new sketch. New layer, sorry. I'm going to move it all the way up, that's the problem. He's in front now, so I tell you can do with this, which works very well, which I forgot actually. If you just click that pen, see this opacity? That means how see-through it is, how transparent it is. So it becomes less sort of harsh, that highlight then. The last one's no good. Remember now, this is on one layer, right? So if you're not happy with it, if you go to the line again, like I showed you before, put a line in and then rub out the intermediate bits you don't want. Just undo that. I don't want it like so straight. I can rub out the bits then, a little bit more realistic or what have you. Just remember, after you've done this, to go back to your settings. The opacity is back up to 100%, whatever you want. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare. You won't know what's going on. Okay, so that's that. Have a go.